What's up, my peeps? I know it's been a while since I did any of these, and I almost didn't record tonight because I didn't have a chance to trim my hair up. So I got a little I got a little baby fro growing in. This is long for me, but anyway, I hope everybody's doing good. Um, I miss doing these videos for you guys. Been doing some good stuff though. I've been riding my bike a lot with my son. We've been going on like these really long bike rides, like 2.5, 3 hour bike rides. Like I'm talking like 24 miles, 26 miles, and I think the longest one we did was 28 miles round trip. And I know you guys are probably wondering how is my big ass able to do these long bike rides. But I have an e-bike, so like, but I'm using the lowest level of the pedal assist, so that way I'm still getting a workout, and your boy's lost a little bit of weight. I think I've dropped about 7 or 8 pounds, so that's good. But anyway, like I said, hope you're all doing good. No, Thanksgiving's coming up, so that's why your boy's trying to, drop some weight so I can have a little bit of a cushion, because I know I'm gonna probably gain some of it back. But anyways, I'm gonna do 2 videos for you guys this week. They're both gonna be prison stories, so I'm gonna go ahead and get to it. Um, this first one is gonna be about DOC, Arizona DOC, SMU one, level 5 supermax prison. For anybody out there that hasn't watched any of my videos, um, yeah. So like this video is actually be about these 2 COs that I used to work with. Um, I'll go ahead and say their names since such a long time ago. Um, One of them was Nunez, and the other one was Durazo. And these 2 dudes were pretty tight. They were both from Tucson, and they carpooled together. And they were like always together, except when they were like, you know, um, stationed at different units or whatever. But I worked with both of them on a lot of different occasions. And at first, like I didn't really know them too well, but after I started to get to know them pretty well, I kind of started to see how shady and how freaking crazy CO Nunez was. Durazo was, even though he was Durazo was a big giant motherfucker. He was like a Mexican giant. That's what we used to call him. He was like about 6'5", and he wasn't just tall. He was thick, like really wide, and just had like he had like these huge thick forearms and these big giant like hands with these big fat fingers. But the crazy thing was he was a big ass pussy. He was kind of a coward, and I'll tell you in the video in a little bit why I say that. But anyways, getting back to Nunez, that's the main one I kind of want to talk about. This dude, man, when I first started to realize how shady and how dirty this dude was like, I guess he kind of like started to confide in me, and he started telling me how like him and his boys, back in Tucson, like they would go to these parties and or a bar or whatever, and he was telling me how he used to roofie girls, like he would put one of them pills in their drink and then pretty much have his way with them after, right? So right there, like I started like kind of, I wasn't sure if he was like really serious about it, but because back then, like this was like when kind of like this was kind of a new thing, so like I didn't really know too much about it or whatever, but anyway, somebody that would say something like that, like I already knew right there, like man, there's something wrong with this dude, right? So anyway, one day, Nunez calls me on the radio, and he tells me to come to his unit because he wanted to do some shakedowns. And like I said, this was at SMU. These are level 5 inmates; they're locked down. So I come down to his unit where he's working at, and he was like telling me, he goes, hey, he goes, I had Durasso put this dude in the shower, lock this dude in the shower so we could search his house, you know? And I didn't know nothing about it. I just thought, okay, we're doing shakedowns or whatever, right? So I'm like, all right, you know. So we walk into the pod and I see the inmate. It was this white inmate. He was locked in the bottom shower. And when he sees Nunez walk in, he's like, he got like really like mad, like really like worked up. He's like, oh fuck no. He's like ACO. He was like yelling to me. He's like ACO. He's like I don't want that motherfucker in my house. Don't let that motherfucker in my cell. He's dirty, man. He's a fucking dirty cop. This and that. And I'm like, whatever. Like I didn't know what he was talking about. You know, I was like, I just thought the inmate was just like talking crap. I didn't know there was anything to it, right? So we go in the inmate's cell. We start searching. Like I didn't tell the truth. I didn't really like doing cell searches. I never have. So I ain't gonna lie. I was kind of doing a half-ass job, like just kind of like lifting up the stuff, looking like wasn't really like And I always tried my best to like put things back the way they were. Like you're not really required to do it, but I always tried, to be respectful within reason. Like, I'm not gonna lie. If the inmate was being disrespectful, being an asshole, then I would just, I would do, the same as the other COs. I would, mess their shit up and leave it like that or whatever, right? But anyway, so like from the corner of my eye, I'm looking at Nunez, and this dude, he gets the inmate's toothbrush, and no joke, he sticks it in the toilet and like goes like this around the rim of the toilet with the inmate's toothbrush. And I was just looking at him like, dude, what the fuck? Like, why are you doing that? And he's like, fuck that motherfucker, And I was like, I was thinking to myself, that's fucked up and like totally unnecessary, but I don't know what kind of history he had with this inmate. Like, I don't know what was going on, but that was like bad. But then the next thing he did, like, this is where I just tripped out. Like, I couldn't believe this shit, right? So I know like people like are probably gonna say like, like in the movies, they always kind of stereotype the COs as like we're mean to the inmates and we're dirty and we're crooked, and then like the warden's always this evil, power hungry dude in charge, Well, in this case, only, applying to CO Nunez, that shit was true. I hate to say, like, he was a totally dirty, like, devious CO. So, like, I'm conducting my little search, and then from the corner of my eye, I see this dude pull out a baggie from his sock, or like from his boot, because we were wearing the tall CO boots. I see him pull out a baggie, and then like kind of slide it under the inmate's mattress, and then go like this. Look what I found, like that. And I saw him do it, and he didn't know I saw him do it. And I'm just looking at him like, what the fuck? And then he's like, this motherfucker's got drugs. I said, you know what, bro? I'm out of here. And then he goes, you're not gonna say nothing. All you did is I said, whatever, man, I'm out of here. And I know what some people are gonna think, like, oh, that's fucked up. You covered for him or whatever. But hey, this was like back in the day, like where you didn't snitch on another CO, just like how most cops won't snitch on another cop. Like you can like it or you can hate it. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it was. And anyway, like I grew up in the hood. I grew up in the projects. So even though I was a CO, I wasn't no snitch. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, if that applies to like a certain level too, like obviously if it would have been something like where a CO caused a serious injury or the death of an inmate or something like that, then obviously that's a whole different level right there. That's where I'm like, you know what? You did something really fucked up. Like, I don't care about no fucking code. Like, I'm telling the truth or whatever. You know what I mean? But for this situation, like, yeah, it's bad. But I was like, you know what? I ain't in this shit. I'm out. So I walked out of the cell, and the inmate like looks at me and he's like, ACO, he's like, where are you going? He's like, don't leave. He's like, I don't trust that motherfucker in there by himself. He's like, I know you're an honest cop. He's like, don't leave, And I felt kind of bad, but I was like, hey man, I'm not in this. I'm out. You know, I just like left. I mean, I don't remember if that's what I told him, but I just basically was like, I gotta go, and I took off. I left the pod. So I pretty much after that, like I didn't associate with that dude. Like I just kind of like was like, hey, what's up or whatever, but I didn't really like talk to him that much anymore after that. Like didn't kick it with him. You know, obviously if I got assigned to work with him, that was one thing, but I just kept it business. You know what I'm saying? But so anyways, his homie Durazo, like I don't know if he was like, I mean, he was with us when that happened, but he didn't like really like he didn't do anything. He just kind of went along with whatever Nunez like said or did. Like he was kind of a follower, even though, like I said, he was a big giant dude. He was kind of a follower, right? So the main thing I have to say about Durazo is one night we had a power outage because there was like a really bad storm going on, and he was working. I think he was working down the hall from me. Yeah, he was working down the hall from me, and I remember when the power went out, that motherfucker was. I guess he was like he was stuck in one of the pods, and the power went out. And I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of scary to be stuck in a pod with because these are like level 5 dudes. You know, they're like the worst of the worst. They're like most of them are killers or you know, like rapists or just hardcore prison gang members. So like when the lights went out, they all start screaming like maniacs, banging and kicking on the front of their door, and it's the sound that you have to be there to hear it to understand it. Like it just sounds crazy, like a bunch of fucking maniacs, like just screaming, wanting to get out and get your ass. And that's what they some of them will yell too, like they'll be like boom boom, they'll be like CO, we're coming to fucking get you, you know, like just yelling crazy shit, right? So when it happened to me, I just kind of backed into a corner, and the stupid thing that a lot of COs do is they'll turn their flashlight on, right? I mean, it's smart in one way because you can see, but now the inmates all know where you're at. I just backed into a corner and I stood there like that and I stayed quiet. I turned down my radio so it wouldn't give me away. And then, you know, just in case, you know, they actually were able to kick their doors open. I mean, they still probably would have found me, but at least, you know, it give me a chance to try to get away or something. But so anyways, I guess when he got locked in a pod, I was out in the hallway, and he came screaming. Like I guess when after they let him out, he came running out of the pods to the hallway, just screaming like a girl. I mean, just like he sounded crazy, and I just remember I was laughing so hard at him because he screamed like a girl, you know, and he was like, Diaz, he's like, that was fucking scary, man. But he was all fucking scared. But so I guess another time what happened to him was I didn't see it for myself, but some other COs told me that he was in a pod with another CO. They were feeding, and somehow another one of the cell doors got accidentally opened. And I've explained this before. In a level 5 supermax, like if a door gets opened, they automatically expect the inmate to come out and assault the COs. You know, like you're expected to do that basically. So this inmate didn't actually assault, but what he did was, because I think it was Durazo and a female CO, the inmate came out and it was this black CO. He wasn't like real big, but he was maybe like about, I'd say like about 5'10", and kind of muscular, like he worked out, but Durazo was like way fucking bigger than him, like twice his size, you know what I mean? But this dude came out and I guess like started like, he was like walking circles around Durazo, like talking shit, like telling him, what the fuck you gonna do, you big pussy ass motherfucker, you know, like, and like flinching at him like that, like, and just like talking shit. And then I guess the inmate even like got in his face and like went like that a few times, you know, like he was gonna do something. And I guess Durazo was just like looking at him, like didn't pull out his gas, didn't do nothing, you know. And then I guess the inmate was like, you big pussy ass motherfucker, and just walked back in his cell and was like, you know, yelled at the officer in the control tower, like, like, yo, man, close my fucking cell before I fuck this motherfucker up, you know? So he went back in his cell, and then the control officer closed his door or whatever, right? But yeah, I mean, he was just a big pussycat, I guess. Like, you know, I mean, not everybody can be a tough guy, but you would think, you know, when somebody's that big, you know, like they would learn how to use their size to intimidate, at least, you know, like to he could have bluffed his way out of that probably, you know. But anyway, those are two couple of characters I used to work with at DOC, you know, and there's a lot of different personalities, you know, that you end up working with in a place like that. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that story. Like I said, I'll be doing another prison story this week, and don't forget to hit like, don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. Till the next one, your big homie, Big Cisco, peace.